Hello, welcome to Laura's Painted Minis. I am Laura. This week's paint along, we'll get started on the leather straps on this arm. Starting off with brown leather because we've got quite a bit of light around it. And down here and over here, there's going to be a lot of more light as well once we actually get to the fur on that part. So my knowledge of shields like this big is that this would be a leather strap for sure, and this would probably be more of an actual like built on handle. Okay, so now as far as like actual colors, we are gonna go kind of more red orange. I know right now it kind of looks more red than anything. That's just because we've got some things over here that have some green on it, and so it's really pulling out the red. But it is definitely red orange in person. I can show you here. Brown liner, auburn shadow, and polished leather are these three colors used in the different mixes here. So this would be brown liner and auburn shadow. This one's mostly auburn shadow with a little bit of that mixed in. Here we have auburn shadow and polished leather, about 50-50. This is just mostly polished leather right here. So you can see how having other colors on the palette can change how, because that polished leather, it might have a little bit of this mix in there, but for the most part it is polished leather. Alright, go ahead and get started. That's gonna still be wet, so yeah, we will start on this side. Unless you want to actually go for polished leather, it's good to get, just every now and then some stipples create texture. And the reason I'm going with a reddish orange for the leather is it'll give us a complementary color to we've got kind of a bluish green in the shadows with that glacier blue, which is, it's more blue, but it's definitely a bluish green. So that will help with the contrast even more, especially in these areas where even though on this side it's going to be around that more whitish fur, down here we don't have that contrast as much, so you do need to think about other ways to bring in contrast. So So a complementary color is another way to do that. At least from that's how my understanding. And complementary color, so saying that, well, that complementary color to blue green is red orange. Directly across from it on the color wheel. That's how you know what is the complementary color. Now to make it worn, you want to do like take your brush and make a line, but obviously very small. So you want your paint thin, so it's not creating like super obvious lines, but just enough that you like it creates some texture. If you get too much, you can always thin your paint down. And you can glaze over it with, or you can paint over it completely with previous color. This is an easy way to make it look kind of worn. Now we're losing our dark shadow there a little bit, but we can just come back with it later. After we're all done. Just want to make sure you thin it down. If you since I used it as a base coat, it's not going to be as thin as the other colors, so you will need to thin it down a little bit. Back with that second shadow color. Even the brown liner a little bit. Now there is a little bit more of a gradient. Paint is still kind of wet, so showing you so that the light doesn't hit it. So you can see kind of more of gradient of sorts, so blends. And now for the polished leather highlight, and the highest highlight right now that we're going to go with. And this will just kind of be used to kind of accentuate the worn look of the leather. So there we go. We have a pretty good start on that darker leather color. It's not super dark, but it stands out against our shiny armor here. And the white fur. White fur over here, shiny armor, and then over here, even though it is now, you can see, in this area, it's kind of a similar value, but it stands out because it's, well, one, because we did keep some shadows around it, but also, it is a different color, and specifically, it's a complementary color, so it helps draw out the blues, or and vice versa, where the blue is drawing out the orange that is in here, or the blue green and the red orange, to be more specific. Drawing each other out, kind of enhancing each other. Hence why they're called complementary colors, because they complement. So yeah, well, we've got more of that leather to go, so we'll continue that next week. Till then, have a good weekend and see you next week.